This is the 77 WABC minicast.
We're with Stephen A. Smith, speaking truth. Here's my proposition.
Yes, sir.
Your point about Donald Trump unchecked. 100%. Everything is on the midterms. If he loses the midterms, he loses the House, he gets impeached, 2 years are shot. If he wins, he gets 2 years unchecked. The best argument for the Democrats, because as we both said, they have no affirmative agenda they're running on. They're running on negative Trump. The best negative is Donald Trump is unchecked. Now he is unchecked. He has intimidated his party in a way we've never seen. You cross him, you're a dead man. So there's no Republican opposition. The Democratic Party is impotent. And you have a man with a consolidated power like no president probably in modern history. And that will scare the American people. American people fear unchecked government power. We are all about checks and balances. Three houses. Well, if this goes too far, executive goes too far, we have the judiciary, we have the legislative. Well, we have a two-party system. One side goes too far, the other side. Not with Donald Trump. Donald Trump, it's Donald Trump. There is no opposition. And Americans, you should fear that.
Well, here's the interesting part, Governor. You're absolutely right. As I said, Donald Trump unchecked, that's nightmarish for a lot of people in this country, no doubt. But what's also nightmarish is if you're the Democrats and you lean on that and avoid presenting something affirmative, something positive that you're bringing to the table, and you believe your sole job is to deny anything he does that, dare I say, may remotely make sense. You see, Governor, I knew Donald Trump before he ever ran for president, as you did. And we saw him he'd go to sporting events, and he'd be at a lot of sporting events and stuff like that. And he prided himself on being a deal maker. We don't have to get into the bankruptcies and all of this other stuff. We know all about that. But the point that I'm trying to make is that he knows how to pivot. He knows how to work with folks to get what he wants. This strategy that he's employing with his own side of the aisle, meaning the right, the GOP, is because he knows he can get away with doing that. If they were to lose power and then you had to deal with the Democrats who were in power, well, then the Democrats are now in a position where, okay, we want to beat this man, but he's about to leave office. How are we able to get what we want for the American people? How are we able to pull that off? Are you going to have that attitude? Or is it just going to be, I hate the ground that Donald Trump walks on. I'm not trying to listen to a damn thing he says, and everything he says, I am going to poo-poo that and say, get the hell away from me with all of that. Because the American people don't want that either. Because while as a party you could plan for 2026 and 2028 and beyond, the American people are living day to day. You're $39 trillion in debt. California's got high taxes. New York's got high taxes. A lot of states have high taxes. You see a resurgence in the South where you see, whether it's Florida, it's Texas or whatever, you see jobs. You see people departing from those states and going to places like Florida, going to places like Texas, okay, because it's no state income tax. Okay, and Governor DeSantis in Florida is talking about eradicating property taxes and all of this other stuff. But somehow, some way, there's a surplus at the end of the day. These are the kind of things that you have to pay attention to because people are living day to day. Politicians may not be, but the American people are. And somehow, some way, it can't be we're so caught up in negating anything that Trump tries to do that we forget our responsibility to govern when it comes to the left side of the aisle and what the American people want and need in order for this nation to prosper.
Yeah.
Can't get lost in that.
Yeah.
Do it.
I'm with you. Offense and defense. We need a democratic offense. We need an agenda. We have to say we are not the crazy left. We are not this bunch of Fruit Loops.
Correct.
Defund the police. The police are bad. The police are the problem.
No one held down 911. No one held down 911. Right. The second trouble was around the corner.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
The homeless have a right to be on the street. Let the homeless sleep on the subways. We are not these extremist. Rich people are bad. They're the enemy. The rich people are bad. Yeah, that's not us because it's suicidal. They will leave. They vote with their feet. It's happening. The numbers are crushing the number of people leaving the state of New York and New Jersey and Connecticut. That's not us. And here's our affirmative agenda. I'm going to educate your child better than they've ever been educated. I'm going to keep you safer than you've ever been. I'm going to get you a job. I'm not anti-business. When I was governor, I worked. I courted businesses all around the world. Come to New York, come to New York, come to New York. Business isn't bad. Business gives you the job so you can make money and feed your family and you can succeed.
And you don't have to depend as much on the government.
100%. We need that affirmative agenda. But my point is on the negative. There's a theme to the negative on Donald Trump. It's not just Iran. It's not just Venezuela. It's not just the Kennedy Center. It's not just the $250 bill. It is that the man is wholly unchecked. He has absolute power to do whatever he wants to do whenever he wants to do it. And he's demonstrated it time and time again. And that's why we need Democrats just as a counterweight. Just a counterweight. So there's discussion.
I don't disagree with it. But we also have to point the finger of blame in a direction different than Donald Trump. And that's the Republican congressional figures in the Senate on Capitol Hill.
What's her question?
Capitulate to damn near his every whim. You see, if they're doing their job, we don't have this problem. We don't have this problem. The reality is that the things that everybody talk about Barack Obama and if Barack Obama did this and if Barack Obama did that, what would we be saying, considering what Trump has done? We wouldn't have accepted it from George W. Bush. We wouldn't have accepted it from H.W. We wouldn't have accepted it from Reagan. The fact of the matter is, this man is a generational figure from the perspective of he's the person that's gotten away with stuff no politician has ever been able to get away with. Dave Chappelle went on Saturday Night Live, a couple of years ago, and he says, we have never seen, he said, this is when I knew a star was born. We have never seen a politician, being corrupt in a house, walk out that house, look at the American people and say, we are doing everything you suspected we're doing in that house, and then turn around and walk back in the house and kept doing it. We have never seen that happen. So why is it happening now? Because folks have allowed it to. The left has allowed it to by not strategizing well enough and effective and efficiently enough to offset what he's throwing at them, which is why they've lost elections and they've lost cachet and prowess, focusing on woke culture, cancel culture, identity politics, and the kind of stuff that people didn't care about nearly as much as they cared about paying their bills and having safety in the streets. But the right is definitely at fault from the standpoint that they have capitulated to his whim in fear of losing power, that they fail to exercise the collective power that they have had. And as a result, they've compromised the fabric of the American system as we know it. And I've told the conservatives this to their face. I said, there's only one Trump. It ain't J.D. Vance, who I consider to be a wannabe Trump. It's not Marco Rubio. It's not Ron DeSantis. There is no one else that will get away with what he's gotten away with. But because y'all allowed him to, what you gonna do if the left get into power and in their own way they start flexing the way you allowed Donald Trump to flex? You can't say anything because you were complicit in allowing it to transpire. I'm talking about what America stands on morally, ethically, etc.
Yes.
I'm not even talking about policy.
I'm with you.
I'm just talking about that there's a decorum, there's a statesmanship, there are those kind of elements that come with the presidency of the United States of America. The Republicans live on precedent. They live on history. They live on, constitutionally, we're supposed to do X, Y, and Z until he arrived.
100%.
And then all of a sudden you didn't care and you threw it out the window. You don't get to come back from that.
I get you.
You don't get to say, hey, that was then and he was a figure and, that was him. We didn't co-sign it. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to live with that as conservatives and GOP members in this country.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm with you. I believe the midterms, people are going to look for some counterbalance. I think that's what does it for the Democrats. I don't think they're helping themselves. I think the extreme left is empowering Trump. But